Hi all, myself Naveed Ahmad, first year MSc Zoology, Kuvempu University, Shankargatta. I am here presenting a report on a comparative study of natural and scientific method of dairy farming. I done this project under the guidance of Professor Shanta AR. These are the contents of my topic, which includes introduction, history, objectives, study area, materials and methods, result, conclusion, discussion, and photography. Let's move on to the introduction. Dairying is the production and marketing of milk, usually cows and buffalo's milk and its products. It is an agriculture. The aim of the dairy farming is to create white revolution. It includes the care of cows, their breeding, feeding, management, and milking. Milk must be collected and passed into a series of dairy products and marketed. Dairy farming is an important source of subsidiary income to small, marginal, or agricultural laborers. In addition to milk, the manure from the animal provide a good source of organic matter for improving the soil fertility and the crop yield. Keeping a cow can found to be very lucrative, especially close to the urban areas. The dairy cow is a valuable animal that often entails a number of risks. The biggest risk is losing the animal. The low productivity due to bad management will lead to the losses. This project is aimed for the farmers who have experience with a goat, sheep, or with cattle who want to start or improve their cattle keeping. These projects help them to make a decision. History. Modern domesticated cattle are evolved from a single ancestor called Aroch. It is believed that the last surviving Aroch was killed in 1627 near Warsaw of Poland. The word cattle came from the old French word cattle, which means possession. It is believed that the cattle were first domesticated in Europe and Asia during the Stone Age. It is generally thought that the cattle were domesticated after the sheep, goat, pigs, and dogs. Objectives. For the comparative study of natural and scientific method of dairy farming, we selected three important objectives. The first one is comparative account on natural and scientific method of dairy keeping. Second one is management in both natural and scientific method of dairy farming. And third one is comparison of quality and the quantity of milk production. Study area. We selected Shimoga as a study area for comparative study of natural and scientific method of dairy farming. Shimoga is a urban area, there is no much water problem and having a sufficient area required for the dairy farming are seen. This area is rich with plant and having a high rainfall and also contain a good climate which is suitable for the growth of the living organism. In Shimoga, we selected two zones. First one is Badra Colony and MC Halli. Badra Colony for natural method of dairy farming and MC Halli for scientific method of dairy farming. The distance between the Shimoga to Badra Colony and MC Halli is 25 and 30 km respectively. Materials and methods. The survey of comparative study of natural and scientific method of dairy farming is conducted during the year 2016 and 17. We visited 3 times to the study area. During our survey, we first selected Pradeep Anand's dairy farming in MC Halli. He gave necessary information about his farm. We visited another place is Badra Colony. Here, agricultural people and poor farmers maintaining the farm. They also give a necessary information about their farm. In our visit, provided the information about per day feed, water supply, milk quality, and maintenance of the dairy farms. Result. The comparative account on natural and scientific method of dairy keeping. There are two important keeping system, that is natural method of dairy keeping system and scientific method of dairy keeping system. The natural method of dairy keeping system is subdivided into two types. One is grazing system, another one is grazing with supplementary feeding. In the grazing system, the animal which graze on the private or communal land. The animal which graze on the roadside also included in the system. In the grazing with supplementary system, it is similar to the grazing system. Along with the grazing, they provide a supplementary feed to them. But in the scientific method, they never allow the animal to graze. So the animals are kept in dairy houses and dairy feeds are provided to them. They never allow the animal to ground feed. Management of cattle in both natural and scientific method of dairy farming. The natural method of dairy farming. Here it is maintained by the poor farmers and agricultural laborers. It is a poor method of dairy farming because here the cattle sheds are constructed by the wooden materials. The mosquito nets are not used in this method, so the cattle are easily attacked by the diseases. The scientific method of dairy farming. This method is maintained in the MC Halli of Badra colony by Pradeep Anant. It is improved method of dairy farming. In this methods mainly involves the keeping of the cattle in a dairy houses. The dairy houses consist of feeding room, breeding room and milking rooms. And mosquito nets are used in this method, so the cattle are not easily attacked by any diseases. Comparison of milk production between natural and scientific method of dairy farming. Natural method of dairy farming. This method is maintained by the poor farmers and agricultural laborers. Here they allow the animal for ground feeding so that they does not provide a dairy feed for the animals. So due to the improper management, the quality and quantity of milk production decreases. But in the scientific methods, the worker provided dairy feed to the animal. So due to the good management in the scientific method of dairy farming, the quality and quantity of milk production increases day by day. Merits of scientific method of dairy farming. There are 6 important merits in the scientific method of dairy farming. The first one is in the scientific method of dairy farming, the milk produced having the high quality containing 25 to 31 degree and having the fat of 4.5 to 5.2. In this method, entire shed is covered by mesh so that insect and pest does not attack as much as easy. In this method, the cattle are providing a sufficient amount of dairy feeds, pellets, Godrej feeds, etc. In the scientific method, the quality and quantity of milk production increases year to year. In this method, we can rear almost all the cattle easily with safety. Due to the hygienic and well management, the diseases are not easily attacked to the cattle and the milk production increases day by day. Demerits of scientific method of dairy farming. There are few demerits in the scientific farming. The first one is the cost of management is very high. The dairy construction and owing of cattle required much amount of money. More number of labors are required. For the proper maintenance, it requires more labors. Without proper information, it is difficult to maintain. It cannot be maintained in a high temperature region. The disease resistance capacity is very less. Demerits of natural method of dairy farming. In this method, the milk produced having 23 to 28 degree and the fat content 3.8 to 4.3. In this method, the cattle are easily attacked by insects and pests due to the improper management. In this method, the cattle are not having proper shed and ventilation. In this method, they use widely indigenous species or breeds like Malnad Gidda. In this method, the cattle shed are not hygienically maintained. Due to the less hygienic and improper management, they are easily attacked by the diseases and the production of milk decreases by day. This graph showing the level of production of milk in both natural and scientific method of dairy farming. The first graph shows years on x-axis and number of liters on the y-axis. And the second graph shows that the years on x-axis and fat on the y-axis. In the first graph, the scientific method shows increased production of milk, but decreased production of milk in the natural method. But in the second graph, we observed that the fat production is also increased in the scientific method and decreased in the natural methods. This graph shows the year on x-axis and the degree on y-axis. In this method, the milk produced having the degree increases in the scientific method when compared to the natural method. From this graph, we observed that the scientific method is best for the production of milk. Finally, I conclude my topic. Dairying is the production and marketing of milk, usually cows and buffaloes milk and its products. It is an agriculture. Aim of the dairy farming is to create white revolution. It includes the care of cow, breeding, feeding and their management. From our survey, the scientific method is the best method for cattle rearing because the milk obtained from the scientific method having good quality and quantity under hygienic condition. The expenditure of the scientific method is much heavier than the natural method, but the profit obtained from the scientific method is higher than the natural method. These are the photos we taken during our survey when both the natural and scientific method of dairy farming in Badra Colony and MC Halli. Thank you.